this theme is mental health is a universal right, as of course is something that WHO prescribes every year. And in schools, it is almost very essential to ensure that every student has a right to a safe and supportive environment that protects them from mental health risks, along with access to high quality mental health care that is readily available, culturally sensitive, and respectful of each and every student's needs. And this approach definitely fosters independence, inclusion, and a sense of belonging within this entire school community that we have. To reinforce this theme, we are facilitating today's panel discussion through a new lens, is what we have titled it, in order to highlight the diverse perspectives that we will see today. And as all of you represent different walks of life, we have with us a principal, a psychologist, a teacher, an entrepreneur, as well as students. And of course, this will provide us with an intersectional lens to delve into this entire idea of accessibility of mental health as a universal right.
Students have to really counter so many emotions, and emotional quotient is what we have to strengthen. And the mental health programs in the school brings this together for the students to brave the situations. You are the bravest ones, my dear students who are sitting there, the 10th and the 11th and the 12th graders, because we have already achieved what we wanted to.
I think it's important to have an environment of acceptance and inclusivity. Only then will we be able to know that okay, people are going through things.
As a student of the generation Alpha, I believe it's essential to cultivate self-confidence and self-love. So firstly, by embracing our uniqueness and imperfections, as no one in this world is perfect. This being imperfect makes us unique, and it makes us who we really are.
It's really stressful these days as teachers. It's very important to protect ourselves physically and of course with all the mental health, because if we are fit and good, and that is when we can do justice to the students at work, which is really important.
We intervene early, then we can prevent a lot of things before it happens, and we can catch on things, risky behaviors and children who are who need help. And help is, as I always say, help is always available. So there are certain things, if we bring on early intervention, we can promote healthy relationships with yourself, with your parents, with your teachers, the whole triad of people.
Like we have to set clear boundaries. Okay, so we have to set it like, okay, this is my time for the work, and this is my time for staying in home, and I want to dedicate my time for my personal well-being. And then we have to prioritize self-care. I think these things are really works well for both even for schools and also professionals.
I would like to say that as you progress through the years of life, you grow with that knowledge, right? So every year you gain some or the other form of knowledge. So of course, by other people who are in your life, or even by yourself, you are expected to perform to the caliber of the knowledge that you have gained every year.
You should be mature enough to handle your emotions. You should be mature enough to have control over what you think and what you say. Sometimes we children do not have control over that, but yet we use social media.
People really look up to influencers and they follow everything they do. And if you have that responsibility, if you have like followers, people following you, you have to be very responsible in what you post and what you depend.
Amongst the student representatives, we have 4 different students from across the country joining us today. We also have Miss Amishi, student of grade 11th from DPS Greater Noida, joining us. Her interests lie in painting, playing guitar, swimming, and is an avid supporter of mental health within the school. She intends to be a psychologist in future. She is the vice house captain of Jhelum House in school and holds a great academic record. Thank you, Miss Amishi.
Have Miss Amishi with us. So I'll just direct this question to you. You can take about 30 to 45 seconds to answer that. Yeah. Right.
Yes,
So when we talk about Generation Alpha, or the most recent generation, right, you are known to be the most uniquely individualistic generation, where we are kind of reduced and we are limited to ourselves sometimes, right, where we don't know when to seek help. So research also says that they are highly attuned to social and emotional cues. But at the same time, it only takes one word or act to be cancelled in today's world. And it's a very dangerous place sometimes. So with being on this scope for every little detail and being watched, what can a student do to find themselves being accepted by others or not be afraid of judgment?
So, as a student of the Generation Alpha, I believe it's essential to cultivate self confidence and self love. So, firstly,
Right.
by embracing our uniqueness and imperfections, as no one in this world is perfect. This
Right.
being imperfect makes us unique, and it makes us who we really are. And we should also surround ourselves with a supportive community that
Hmm.
values authenticity. For me, I seek genuine connections with friends who value authenticity over perfection. Next, I would say that we shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes. There are opportunities to learn and grow, and be and we should be open to learn from constructive criticism, but also recognize that not everyone's opinion defines your worth. And one key point is to remember that acceptance starts with self acceptance. When you love and believe in yourself, and the fear of judgment loses its power. And ultimately, staying true to yourself while continuously striving to be a better will help you to find acceptance and self assurance amidst the virtual eyes of the today's digital world.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Amishi. I think that was very well articulated in terms of also some solutions that our audience can take back, right? So I'm really glad that you could share your personal thoughts and views on this, right? And I think you sent the audience a very powerful message that social acceptance begins from self-acceptance. So talking about, again, social acceptance, social media also has a lot of unsolicited advice, I would say, that a lot of these insta therapists talk about. It also has, of course, some really beautiful social media accounts. So there's all sorts of information. So how do you distinguish, or how do you demarcate that, okay, this is something I should take and this is something I should just leave behind and not pay heed to?
Yes. So as a student, I discern what works for me in the realm of online mental health advices by
Hmm.
mostly focusing on the self-reflection as I take time to understand my emotions, triggers, and needs, ensuring that the advice I follow aligns with my personal experiences and challenges.
Hmm.
Secondly, I would do internal locus of control. I would prioritize strategies that empower me to control my reactions and foster resilience, allowing me to maintain a sense of calmness even in chaotic external situations. Thirdly, I would say evidence based information. I would rely on well researched evidence based advices from reputable sources, ensuring that the tools and the techniques I adapt to have a proven track record of effectiveness. And last but not the least, trial and adaptation. I recognize that mental health is dynamic. And so I'm open to trying various approaches and adjusting them over time based on what generally works best for me. And by adhering to these principles, I aim to build a personalized mental health toolkit that promotes my well being, resilience, and inner calmness despite external circumstances. Thank you.
Thank you, Amishi. It already appears like you're a psychologist because you've spoken about so many beautiful psychological concepts that we apply on a day-to-day basis, like internal locus of control and identifying our areas of agency and where we can actually have some freedom and control over the situation rather than worrying about what's happening outside of us.